The Foreign Secretary claimed the UK has made up a lot of ground in the run-up to the November deadline for the Brexit negotiations. Mr. Hunt commended Theresa May for her tough strategy during talks with the European Union, saying progress was achieved because of her refusal to accept plans for a backstop, effectively keeping Northern Ireland inside the customs union after Brexit. Speaking to the Today programme, the Conservative frontbencher said, "I think it's important to say, 4 weeks before the November deadline that has been talked about, the backstop is the only really big, outstanding issue. We have made enormous progress. It's because Theresa May has been tough and because she hasn't compromised on her basic principles that we are going through this difficult moment right now." Mr. Hunt insisted progress has been made since the Salzburg summit and this week's EU27 meeting in Brussels, saying there was always going to be moments of uncertainty toward the end of the talks with the bloc. He continued, "The reason why this week has been difficult is that Theresa May has not buckled. She has held firm. She has stuck to her principles. It is precisely because she has not capitulated that we have not concluded this agreement." The Foreign Secretary also urged his colleagues to clamp down on plans to revolt against the Prime Minister, suggesting the UK had lacked in strength compared to Brussels because of divisiveness within the party. Brexit news. Jeremy Hunt claimed enormous progress was made with the European Union. Image, BBC. "It's because Theresa May has been tough and because she hasn't compromised on her basic principles." Jeremy Hunt, he added, "The one thing I would say to my colleagues is that the great strength of the EU in these negotiations is that the 27 EU nations have remained united. We now need to do the same behind Theresa May to maximize her negotiating leverage in Brussels and make sure she does come back with that deal that honors the letter and spirit of the referendum decision." The UK and the EU are now considering an extended transition period to work out their differences, meaning Britain would have to abide by EU law until December 2021. Mrs. May has faced criticism of her leadership over Brexit for months now, but pressure is ramping up because time is running out to meet the deadline. On Monday, former cabinet ministers, David Davis and Boris Johnson, led a 60-strong group of Eurosceptic Tory MPs in a joint tirade against Mrs. May. In a letter written to the Prime Minister, the politicians called on her to drop her Chequers plan and adopt a Canada-style free trade agreement.